Welcome to the Artistic Foodies, the show that explores life through the lens of art and food. I'm Abbas Muhammad,
And I'm Irfan Raidan.
and today we're talking about why we started this podcast in a world where everybody and their mama got a podcast out.
We also got a great couple of restaurant reviews in the Bay Area at the end of the show, so make sure you listen to all the way to the end.
All right, so what is the Artistic Foodies and who are we? Well, Irfan Raidan himself, who many people in the Bay Area may already know, is someone who's been active in both the halal food scene as well as in supporting the arts for as long as I've known him. I remember as a kid, we used to go to Muslim Unity Day at Great America. Yeah, this was a long time ago. And even then, Irfan was one of the core organizers there. I remember one year 786 Boys came out. Oh man, that was like the Muslim community's response to a boy band where they had all these nasheeds and it was great. It
Oh,
was a
yeah,
lot of fun.
those guys were great.
And then after that, after Muslim Unity Day, Irfan gathered some like-minded eaters together and said, "You know what? Why don't we have a halal food festival?" So, to my knowledge, this was the first halal food festival in North America, and he's been going at it every year since then. I think this year, 2020, is the first year that we haven't been able to do the food festival, right?
Yeah, it's been we went for about 7 years straight, and every year was growing, and a lot of people enjoyed it, a lot of people looked forward to it. I got a lot of kids or people come up to me and say my kids are missing Halal Fest this year because they used to go, around Eid time or after Ramadan and enjoy the carnival and the food and all that.
Oh man, and I mean, 7 years is a long time, and most of my memories with my family, like we grew up going to Halal Fest and joining on as volunteers and so on. And so this year we're really missing out on the food festival, but it's all for the best because big crowds are a big no-no for this COVID time that we're living in. So besides the organizing, Irfan's also been really active online. If you've spent any time on Zabiha, you might have seen his reviews somewhere. He's got something like 1,000+ reviews or something like that. He's a big friend of the restaurants and the halal food scene over here. And something that y'all might not know about, but he started off as an artist himself. Isn't that right, Irfan?
So yeah, so as a kid growing up, I was always into drawing and art, and I actually wanted to be a cartoon artist when I grew up. You fill out those little surveys when you're a kid in school, and then they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. So I put cartoon artist, and then I had that for a while, and then eventually, when you grow older, your parents say they try to put you into something more respectable kind of feel, I guess.
Yeah,
So
practical. Like, beta, you have to be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor.
exactly. So my dad, he kind of said, "Oh, why don't you try architecture? You can still do drawing, but
Hmm.
you can also get a job and stuff." But so unfortunately, I didn't realize until much later that if I had actually stayed into art related field, I probably could have been working for like you know Pixar or one of these other animation companies and they make a lot, they still make a good living. But anyways, I actually ended up going into architecture, and um, that's what my degree is in. But I do enjoy art, and I like to support artists because it's important, especially in today's world where everybody is, they need to express themselves in a positive way. So I think art is very important, especially for the young kids today who are kind of sheltering in place and they can't go outside and play and stuff like that. So I think it's important.
Wow, I couldn't agree more. And I don't know, is it really too late? If anyone from Pixar is listening to this podcast right now, I know you need someone to draw the buildings in all your cartoon movies. So we got an architect artist here.
Speaking of art, Abbas, is started the Gamma, gathering all Muslim artists. It's been a few years now, but that has grown, started in the Bay Area, and has grown to like a nationwide. And I think now you have international people coming into your group, right? Too, right?
Yeah, yeah, we've done a few international programs now.
Yeah. So Abbas, he started out with the way that I met him. I guess we're going to talk a little bit more detail later, but I met him through HalalFest as a volunteer, and then from there he, was doing our cooking demos at the Halal Festival, and he then, as an artist himself, he started spoken word artist. You were involved with the Muslim Writers Alliance, right? Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, the Muslim Writers
Yeah,
Collective is
yeah.
right.
Sorry, Muslim Writers Collective. Yeah. So doing all the nice mipster stuff, like as I like to call it, the mipsters, the Muslim hippies doing the spoken word and playing the music and stuff, which is great. No, it's a very important. Music is also important, a way of expression and art. And then Abbas started the Bay Area Halal Foodies on Facebook, which has grown exponentially rapidly, especially during this pandemic times. So now we got, I think, you got over 7,000 people on there. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah, we just hit 7,000 this week, actually. Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah, congratulations about that.
Thank you.
So I know you have a story about cooking and doing cooking classes when you were a kid, and that's how you kind of got interested in food. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, man, I love cooking. I mean, if I could just hit pause on everything else in my life and just focus on cooking, that's the one thing that brings me the most joy. And it's not I mean, it's not typical. I feel like a lot of people are surprised. My relatives, people in the community, they get shocked like, "क्या? आपका बेटा cooking का शौक है?" It's like, "What? Your son is interested in cooking? That's very interesting." And I mean, I owe it all to the amazing women in my family. My mom's an amazing cook. My aunt actually has published cookbooks, and my grandmother, I mean,
Wow, that's pretty cool.
wow, who can beat a grandmother's cooking? You know, it's just very, very heartwarming. So very early on, I saw what their food and their cooking could do. It just really warms the heart. So yeah, it's a funny story. So I was in Boy Scouts between the age of 14 and 16. You know, and I think I was the only like Daisy Boy Scout that I knew,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the short shorts and the badges and stuff. And so one day we had a cooking competition at our local Boy Scout troop. This was back in Dublin when I was living in Dublin, Troop 905. And the premise of the cooking competition is you have to use this camping stove, and you can only bring ingredients that you'd be able to bring on a camping trip. So, I brainstormed with my mom, figured out what we could do. And I think I was only 15 at the time. We decided to do a burger and a cream of mushroom soup. Cream of mushroom soup, super easy. You buy from Safeway, you warm it up in a pot, no creativity needed there. But for the burger, we want to do something a little bit different. So my mom said, like, why don't you make some chapli kebab patties instead of regular patties? So, I mean, if you're Desi and you've made burgers at home, it's very rare to just have like a hamburger, American hamburger. There's like garam masala and everything, right?
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
okay, cool. So I took all the ingredients with me and we assembled it over there, mixed the meat with all the different masalas and fried it up. And then, it was a very basic burger. You had your onions and your lettuce and your tomatoes, and we presented to the judges. We had the chapli kebab burger and we had the soup, and they're very familiar with burger and soup. But as soon as they bit into the burger, they're like, "Wow, there's something different. There's something special here." And so, because of that, our patrol, as it's called, our patrol won the competition. And I was enthused. I'm a very competitive person, and so I loved more than the taste of the chapli kebab burger. I love the taste of winning.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I got a little taste of that victory there. Since then, I've just been really interested in food and cooking. And like you said, I've done some cooking demos at Halal Fest, and I've taught some cooking classes and stuff like that. So if there's really just one mark that I could leave on the world, it's just feeding people and teaching people how to cook. because it's a lot of fun.
That's great. So the other Boy Scouts, they didn't think the chapli was too spicy, or what?
This is before all their indoctrination. They're like, you know what, this is new, cool, let's try it
Nice,
out.
nice,
So
great.
so yeah, I mean, that's been a lot of fun. And through Halal Fest, I've had a chance to do a lot of cooking demos as well. And in fact, my whole reason why I got into Halal Fest and how we met was through my love of food. So I think it was, I want to say 8 years ago. Was it 2012? My
Yeah.
dad sent me a Facebook post,
Oh, your dad sent it
right?
to you?
My dad sent me this face. So it is really all thanks to
Mhm.
him. He sent me this Facebook post. I was really into like poetry and writing at the time, still am. This was when I was really getting into it. He sent me a post from the Halal Fest page, and it said, write a 10-word story. And whichever 10-word story gets the most likes will win some free ribs. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay, what is this? Let me just write something. And it was, I can't remember. It'd be cool to like find out what exactly that was and post it on our
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
But from like way back when. But it was something like, Halal Fest seems cool. I really love ribs. Something just super simple like that. And then the next day, basically, I send that to my dad. He sent that to family. We got family members in Kenya and UK and Pakistan and America. Everybody liking.
Oh, wow.
And, got something like 40 likes or something like that. It was a tight competition. Luckily, you didn't have to have a quality story, so you just had to get the most likes. So it was really just a popularity contest at the end of the day. And Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, I won the competition. And Irfan sent 9 pounds of ribs to my house. 9 pounds of ribs. It was all
Yeah,
packed in styrofoam and dry ice.
I should have kept a couple of pounds for myself. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Yeah, but
Dude, 9 is a lot of
our
pounds. So
sponsor sent it to you directly. Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, it was a good investment, man. Like 9 pounds of ribs. It's been 9 years of
Yeah,
halal
yeah,
fest. Let's
that's true.
go.
That's true.
Oh
Uh,
man, I had some friends from Southern California visiting, two friends, and so we cooked all 9 pounds at once. I broke it up into three groups of 3 pounds. One of them I used a dry spice rub. The other two I used a sauce, two different sauces. Made a bunch of sides. But tell me, Irfan, have you ever had a rib meal where the leftover was the meat and not the
oh,
sides? That's
wow.
how much meat
Wow,
there
wow.
was.
No, I have not had that. Great. Alhamdulillah, that's
Man.
very good.
Okay, so now that you've heard a little bit about this podcast and who we are, let's get down to the real meat and potatoes here, shall we?
Yeah, now we're going to talk about some of our favorite halal spots in the Bay Area. But to mix it up a little bit, we're going to do, each of us will say two of our favorite halal spots, and also we're going to say one of our, a regular spot, which is not necessarily a halal or Muslim restaurant. So, Abbas, I'll let you go first.
Sounds good. So, I mean, it really just changes from day to day. Some days I feel like peri peri chicken. Some days I feel like a burrito. Some days I feel like chicken tikka. I mean, there is so much good halal food. So I can only tell you right now, based on my current cravings, definitely number one right now in my mind and my heart and my stomach is my halal taqueria. And the main reason is because not only is it super close by, but it just always tastes fresh. So my favorite thing to get there is a steak and shrimp burrito. And
Sounds interesting.
yeah, I mean that's it, like surf and turf, steak and shrimp. And so it's anyone who's cooked shrimp knows it's very easy to overcook shrimp and then it gets rubbery. And it's very easy to cook steak wrong and then it gets super chewy, but they just get it right every time. My halal taqueria. And the second place, if I had to pick a place, I would say right now is Any Burger. Any Burger, their mango habanero wings are fantastic. They have these appetizers called mac and cheese bites. Oh my god! When I tell you, as soon as I bite into it, just the feeling of comfort, the feeling of just like joy and feeling of home. That's what it tastes like home. It's deep fried bites of mac and cheese. You can't go wrong. Don't let my doctor hear me say that, but it's highly recommended. And then their burgers are fantastic. You can customize a burger. Their whole slogan is you can have it any burger, any way you want.
Have it your way. Yeah, no, any burger is great. I also like that, and that's formerly at least the halal uh, three stores in the Bay Area. They were formerly Burger I Am, and now the owner has made his own franchise called Any Burger. So it's important to support the Muslim-owned restaurants.
Yeah, and it's very, very interesting story as well. And Burgerim was boycotted and still is boycotted by many Muslims as part of the BDS movement. So, we talked a little bit about how we're going to get into some politics and history on the show. So let's get into it. I think their story is really phenomenal and worth mentioning. So Burgerim was originally founded in Israel. So it's originally an Israeli company, and the franchising rights was sold to someone in Los Angeles. And then after that, really, like when I was talking to Abdul, the owner, he said that really the only franchise that allowed you to even use halal meat was Burger Inn. So they went into it thinking, we're going to open up some burger spots for the local Muslim population. Beautiful intention, right? And then the whole politics of it came out, and then the boycott came out, and it would be very easy for him to be like, you know what, forget this. I'm done with franchise and food. I'm gonna go back to my career in business, because he had a successful career in tech as a businessman before jumping in.
Yeah,
But this is what I love about him. He said, no, we're gonna try again. We're gonna try harder. And not only was he able to negotiate his way out of that franchise contract, but he created his own brand from scratch. The branding, the name, the sauces, the recipe, the menu. I mean, this is so inspiring, right? And now his vision is to keep opening more of these and really have like a Muslim franchise that's available. I mean, if you're a Muslim and you want a burger, like you don't have any very easy, convenient franchises places to go. I mean, half the time the burger you're eating is probably going to be a chapli kebab burger. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I also know the owner and talked to him several times, and yeah, it's a very inspiring story. He didn't give up, and the one thing he did, which is even though there was a lot of it's an emotional thing, about Palestine for a lot of Muslim people. So without looking into all the facts, they just nowadays people say cancel culture, right? Where you just automatically, if you don't like someone or you don't like what they're doing, you just automatically cancel them and just give them all this hate. But he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to get out of this situation, and I'm working with different Muslim people in the community to get their advice and suggestions. And he did that. He talked to a lot of different people. Talked to Dr. Hatem Bazian, he's a well-known Palestinian Muslim professor and activist, and other people. And he got out of it, and he, like you said, he started his own brand. So it's an inspiring story, and I hope Muslim community and everyone else supports him and supports other small business owners who are just good people who are trying to make a living and do the right thing.
That's right. So if you're hearing this, check them out. One in Pleasanton, one in Fremont, and one coming soon in Pleasant Hill. Any burger. You can have it any way you want.
Now,
This is not sponsored. I know it sounds sponsored, but it's not sponsored. I just really love their burgers.
Yeah,
all right, check
yeah,
out the
no.
Hawaiian spice. It's my favorite.
They're good. And what's your favorite non-halal? I mean, I don't want to say non-halal because people say, "Hey,
Haram.
what are you
My
talking
favorite
about?
haram place, huh?
Yeah, what's your favorite haram place? What?" No. We just mean what's your favorite, like not necessarily halal meat place, but vegetarian seafood or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, yeah, we're pretty much limited to seafood when we go out, and I don't really like to eat fish unless it's raw fish. Yeah, sushi's my
Sushi.
vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick, there's a spot in Oakland. It's called Golden Lotus, and it's vegan food. But it's not just any vegan food. It's vegan Vietnamese food.
Oh wow.
So there's no halal pho. Anyone who's listening to this, if you want to start a business in the Bay Area, seriously, bring some pho. We got one pho halal pho spot
San
in South
Jose.
San Jose,
Yeah,
but that's like
it's
that's way out there.
that's from
I ain't
like
gonna.
in the that's like in the other side of the world for you.
See, I'm not gonna drive an hour, bro. Like I love pho, but like an hour each way. So, anyways, check it out. Vegan pho at Golden Lotus in Oakland. Not only that, but they have like a lot of other dishes where they use meat replacement, and you can't even tell that it's not meat. It's so delicious. I love it there. I haven't even been there all year. You know what? I think after we record this podcast, I'm gonna go get some pho. It's a nice chilly day. Let's go get some vegan pho.
Nice, nice. So the
Yeah,
for the place, for those of you who are listening who may not know, the halal pho place in San Jose is called Champa Kitchen, and it's very good. It's in South San Jose, like the boss mentioned, so it's a bit of a drive if you're not in the San Jose area, but it's very good food. Definitely worth it to try at least once in your life.
I feel like you know how California is like this separate culture from the whole rest of the country, and people are like, "Oh, California should just be its own thing."
Yeah,
That's how I feel about San Jose sometimes.
yeah, that's true.
You just split off and do your own thing over there. So anything south of Milpitas, man, I ain't making that drive.
Well, San Jose is pretty big. It's the 10th largest city in the U.S., so it's a lot of people don't realize that.
It's impressive. So, as someone who lives in that area in the South, as someone who lives in the South of the Bay Area, I'd love to know what your favorite halal spots are. So yeah, so same thing. Give me two of your favorite halal spots, and then one of your favorite haram spots.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll start in San Jose then, or close to San Jose, in Cupertino. There's a place called Tarim Global Cuisine, which is used to be called Aria Steakhouse in Cupertino. Then another Muslim person took it over, and so they still have halal steak, which is actually pretty good. It's a nice steakhouse, and then they have an interesting cuisine. They have because Arya was Persian restaurant originally, so he kept the Persian food, so it still has halal Persian food. But then the owner said, "Hey, I want to have some halal Chinese because there used to be a place called Fatima's in Cupertino, which was a favorite spot for a lot of people
Wow,
back in the day."
I've heard about
Yeah,
Fatima's
yeah.
like
So it
in
was,
myth and legend.
yeah, exactly. It was a good place. So that closed down. So that in that area there was no real halal Chinese food. So the owner said, "Hey, I want to bring in halal Chinese food too." So he has halal Chinese food, which is pretty good. I tried the black pepper beef, which is one of my favorites. And then he has the halal Persian food, and then the halal steaks. And he has outdoor. He has a nice outdoor patio, which is nice. And he removed. He used to have alcohol. He used to have a big bar. I mean, the bar is still there, but they don't serve alcohol anymore, of course. So it's very good. If you guys are in the South Bay, check it out.
I might have
And
to take a flight out there one day.
yeah, a flight out there. Yeah,
So, steak, Persian food, and Chinese food in one place, huh?
yeah, definitely, definitely worth
Man,
it.
only in the Bay Area, I swear.
And then yeah, so check it out. And then another one which I like is halal Mexican food, which we haven't had. Interestingly, we haven't had in the Bay Area for a while. For a few years, there was a drought of halal Mexican food, and now suddenly there's like multiple places that have popped up and serving halal Mexican food, which is great. And one of my favorites is called El Halal Amigos, which is a food truck. And the owner, Hisham, he used to be the manager of Main Street Burgers in San Jose, and he's the one who introduced halal beef into Main Street Burgers, which they still have even after he's gone. But he started his own business, and it's a food truck, El Halal Amigos, and he emphasizes authentic Mexican recipes from the villages of Mexico and also the streets of Mexico's. The street food in Mexico City. So very authentic, and I recommend if anyone wants to go there who hasn't tried it yet, I recommend the chicken al pastor tacos, which are street style tacos. They're a little bit smaller than what you would normally see, but they have a lot of meat in there, and then chicken pastor. They put pineapple on top, so
Whoa.
it gives it a little bit of sweet and sour kind of flavor. It's
Sounds
pretty,
really good.
yeah,
Pineapple in a taco.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty good. And then obviously they have the birria tacos, and I think we'll talk a little bit about that later. But the
We
birria
can taco about it.
we can talk about it, yeah. But the birria tacos are very great. Basically, it's just meat, beef, and cheese in a fried or grilled taco. So it's pretty simple, and then you dip it into a consomme, which I kind of call like the Mexican version of nihari. It's just
Mm-hmm.
basically a beef stew with similar kind of stuff, but it's pretty good as well. So those are two of my favorite halal places right now. And then for the haram place,
We're just going with it.
yeah, we're just gonna use that term. Maybe we'll get some trolls saying, "Hey, these guys are talking about haram. Check it out. Listen to these guys." Yeah, we want you to listen to our show. So the latest, or the one of my favorites one is called California Sourdough. And the thing I like about this place is I grew up eating a lot of tuna fish sandwiches from all the different places because when I was growing up, and that's what I tell my kids. I mean, they're pretty young right now, but they're eating halal chicken nuggets and chicken strips and halal pepperoni pizzas, and I saying, you guys don't know how lucky you are. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
any of these things when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have halal chicken nuggets, which you can now buy in most grocery stores. You can buy Saffron Road or other, Al Safa. If you go to any halal market, they have all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Halal hot dogs. But anyways,
What a life. What a
so
life.
they're spoiled kids. But I had to grow up eating, fish fillet sandwiches from McDonald's and the Subway and Togo's tuna sandwiches. But anyway, so I still eat those, once or twice a week for lunch. And California Sourdough has a very good tuna sub because they make their sourdough bread, fresh every day. So it's very
Mm.
soft and chewy and tasty and warm. It's a warm sandwich too. So that's those are three of my favorite places right now.
That sounds
And
amazing. I could really go for some fresh sourdough right now.
yeah, it's
Wow.
very good. I like bread. I'm not one of those keto guys who cut out the bread and rice and all that. I mean, I have to have my bread. I'm a non guy. But so since you are the founder of the Bay Area Halal Foodies on Facebook, you see a lot of trends of people posting like popular stuff, popular halal spots, and popular halal foods. And so, what do you see? What are the hot trends right now in the halal food scenes?
Yeah, no, it's great. Being in that group, you get to see what people are excited about, what people are asking about, what people are posting reviews about. I mean, you really like that's a way to get a finger on the pulse of what's going on. And what I've seen this year specifically, and actually, this is interesting. The first trend I'm going to talk about, this is something I've seen across the internet. So it's not just in the halal food scene, but across the internet, I have seen more and more posts about birria tacos.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it is so delicious. Just thinking about it makes me feel all warm inside. So, what is a birria taco? I mean, Irfan alluded to it. It's very simple. Um, this is a dish that is it's tortilla that's dipped in the consomme and then fried, and you've got cheese in there. More traditionally, you're going to put Oaxaca cheese, which is a great melting cheese, and then you got either your goat or your beef
Mm-hmm.
shredded in there,
Mm-hmm.
and so the cheese is all melty and gooey. The outside of it should be nice and crispy. It's really, really delicious, and you dip the whole thing in the consomme. And the consomme, like you said, I mean, nahari is a great way of describing it,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Because in nahari, you're cooking like the bones, especially with the nali nahari, you got the
Mm-hmm.
bone marrow, and you cook that for a long time. And a lot of that gelatin goes into the broth. And so if you've ever had nihari or paya, for instance, if you had
Mm-hmm.
paya, you know what that gelatinous, unctuous feel is. And so in a consomme, you got this bone broth going, and it just feels very hearty. So when you dip your taco in there, the taco gets coated with this flavorful unctuousness. Got some raw onion, some cilantro, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a birria taco. In the birria taco trend, I think the first halal birria taco that I saw was a while back. Is on Instagram. Is an account called Halal Kiria, like halal and taqueria
Mm-hmm.
together. Halal Kiria. And I remember seeing this and following them a while back, but I never actually went out to try it. I still haven't tried it, but I need to. And then after that, I saw that My Halal was doing a limited run on Friday only of the Birria tacos. I thought, you know what? Like, I've seen this all over the internet. This looks really good. Let me go find out what it's like. So I checked it out. Again, My Halal is local to me, so it's very easy for me to go check it out. And what I love about their birria tacos is they actually put down cheese on the grill first, and then put the birria taco on top of that, so that
Mm-hmm.
the cheese ends up crisping up. And when you bite into it, it just got that extra
Extra
crunch.
crunch. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
about that extra crunch. So if you want to hear this crunch and see my review, check it out. I put on my IGTV. My Instagram is Baba Shams. That's BABA.SHAMSS. Shameless
Because
plug, but check
because
it out. Got my birria tacos on my IGTV. What's
yeah.
up? Yeah. So, what about you, Irfan? Have you had any birria tacos in the Bay Area? Am I missing any? I feel like there's a few more spots.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did mention that El Halal Amigos has Birria as well, and they do it on Wednesdays. For those of you who don't know where Maya is located, I think we haven't mentioned it. It's in Oakland, downtown Oakland, and
Mm-hmm.
El Halal Amigos is currently the food truck who parks in Newark, um, close to where Chandani and Mehran are located, and they do their Birria on Wednesday, and it's pretty good. It's more traditional, meaning that they just use one tortilla, and they put the cheese inside and the beef inside, and cilantro and onions, and then they grill it up, and tastes pretty good. And then they also have what I always order with the birria tacos is nachos. So they
Mm.
have a special sauce, hot sauce called nar, which means fire in Arabic. So nar sauce, fire sauce, and they have this basically a super loaded nachos with uh, birria meat, the beef meat. They use beef and halal beef, hand slaughtered, Harris Ranch, and then they put the nar sauce and sour cream and everything, guacamole and cheese. They use the two different cheeses: the nacho sauce
Mm.
cheese, which is Tillamook, and I just recently found out that Tillamook. I always knew it was vegetarian based rennet, but Tillamook is also halal certified now. So if people are interested, they're not a sponsor. Maybe we'll try to reach out to them, but they're not a sponsor. But their cheese is pretty good. I always been eating it for a few years, and so they use that. And then yeah, so that's great. And then I also tried Habibi's Birria, which is located in Hayward, and
Mm.
they're a small shop inside of Valero's gas station in Hayward. So I went there recently with my kids. I tried the Birya Tacos, which were pretty good. And then I also tried the Birya Ramen.
Birria ramen?
Yeah, so it's basically these ramen noodles, which I think are a pre-packaged thing. And what they do is they open it up and they cook it with they add the halal birria meat beef in there. So it was good. It was a little bit not as soupy as I would like, but you know
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a big ramen expert, so I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if that's supposed to be like that. I usually, whenever I eat soup or anything, I like to have some of the the soupy uh, water or whatever, the soupness in there. This
Mm.
was a little bit on the drier side, but it was still decent.
That's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's birria ramen from a gas station, so I don't think they're going for authenticity.
Yeah, yeah,
But that
yeah,
sounds fascinating. I need to go check that out. Hayward's not too far.
yeah.
Birria ramen. Wow,
And
that
then
must
they
have
have
tasted interesting.
the good thing about them is they have a little corner outside where you can sit outside and eat there. There's a little uh, small turf area on the side of the gas station, so you can get some gas, fill up your car. You can get some food. You can sit outside and eat. They only got a couple of tables there, but it's a pretty good pit stop,
Hmm.
as they say.
One stop shop. There you go.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds amazing. Birria is quite the rage. I've also seen in the Facebook group a lot of people going crazy about fried chicken sandwiches, and I mean I can
Oh
totally see
yeah.
why. I love fried chicken sandwiches. I remember I was in Los Angeles doing a food hopping with some friends a while back, and we had Dave's hot chicken.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good. And I love spice. So if it's not melting my face off, get out of here, you know. And I remember back then thinking, why doesn't the Bay Area have anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
So a few months later, it's almost as if they were reading my mind. World famous Hot Boys popped up in Oakland. And it's not a spot that's owned by Muslims per se. However, they are very much aware of the Muslim population of what halal is, and they wanted to be more inclusive. And honestly, I feel like it's just a smart business idea. You know, if you could just change your meat supplier, you have a whole new audience you could
Mm-hmm.
feed.
Mm-hmm.
So, world famous Hot Boys, they got. I mean, it's I think the first time I went, I got the hot, thinking, oh yeah, I get hot everywhere, and their hot was like really,
Yeah,
really
extra,
hot,
extra, extra hot. Yeah.
extremely spicy. So world famous Hot Boys, I really enjoyed it, and then I think after that, I pretty much went like once a week. So my Instagram has a few videos of world famous Hot Boys as well. I think my favorite one was I took the biscuit donuts and replaced the buns with that. So the biscuit donuts are called bonuts.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of buns, it was bonuts, and so it was spicy, it was sweet, it was messy,
Oh wow. Yeah,
just
that sounds
amazing
good.
experience.
Sounds
Check
good.
out the video on my IGTV, Baba Shams.
Yeah, I've
Um,
been to Hot Boys once too. It's a nice hip and happening place. They play
mhm.
some old school hip hop music. If you're a fan of hip hop music, and they got some nice merchandise. T-shirts and hats and stuff. And yeah, the food is good. I also found it a little bit spicier than usual, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm. It's hot chicken, not chicken. And you know, I think for a while that was pretty much the only place that I had access to, so I went there once a week. And then you know, I got to mention Any Burger again. I mean, they're killing it. Any Burger has a Nashville style fried chicken sandwich, and it tastes very different. So I wouldn't say that it's like in direct competition with Hot Boys, but it's more of different flavor for different cravings. And so, you know, if you're in the area of Fremont or Pleasanton, check out their Nashville sandwich. It is spicy, but it's not too spicy. You know, a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people, I think I was like asking in the group, I was like, hey, what should I get? Someone said, get the Nashville sandwich, but ask them to make it mild. Like, man, don't tell me like that. Come on. I'm all about that spicy food. Let's go. So it was a good level of spice. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't too spicy. Any burger where you can have your
Yeah.
sandwich any way you want.
Yeah, I also had the Nashville sandwich at Any Burger too. I also liked it a little bit better than Hot Boys just because it wasn't as crazy spicy. And it's not a traditional Nashville fried chicken because they don't put the, if you had the a traditional Nashville chicken sandwich, they have some powdery, uh, I don't know, chili or something that they put on top. So it's not like a Dini burger one is just like sauce,
Hmm.
and then they put traditional one like if you have there's another place called Chicken Drip, which is another halal fried chicken place that opened up. It's a food truck that just opened up in San Jose, and they have the traditional one, which is pretty good too. But they have that powdery stuff on top. So the Any Burger one doesn't have that. So, but that's it's. I also like the chicken drip one too.
Hmm.
And then there's the more of a desi version of the fried chicken sandwich, which a lot of places have this zinger burger, but
Mm.
one which is pretty good is at Lados, which is also in the South Bay in Sunnyvale, and they have a zinger burger there, which is pretty good. And then they also have a chupli burger, which goes back to Abbas's roots,
Wow, we just
and,
went full circle.
and they call it the bomb burger,
Ooh.
right? So it blows up your mouth. But
Oh wow. Well, I mean, we're both Muslims. I don't know if we should be using that word on air.
yeah, you get the bomb burger.
Wow, so that's it. So two major trends: fried chicken sandwiches, spicier the better, if you ask me, and birria tacos. The crispier the better. But that's just my opinion. I got to check out the birria ramen for sure. That's on my to eat list. Some people have to do list. I have a to eat list.
Cool, cool. Thanks, Abbas, and thanks to all our listeners today. This episode has been brought to you by America's first Halal Restaurant Week, taking place on December 9th through December 13th, 2020, in the San Francisco Bay Area. We have over 25 different halal restaurants and food trucks participating with special deals and exclusive discounts for the public. We will also be giving away a lot of great prizes and halal food products to all the eaters who will be participating during Halal Restaurant Week. For more information on America's first Halal Restaurant Week, go to our website, halalfest.com, and you can also search for us on Facebook and join the Bay Area Halal Foodies. Thank you.
And be sure to also find us on Facebook and Instagram, The Artistic Foodies. Stay tuned for more episodes and bonus content. And you can also access all of our episodes on our website, theartisticfoodies.com.
Great. And this podcast has been brought to you by Halal Fest Incorporated and Gamma, Gathering All Muslim Artists. Thank you very much to all our sponsors and followers and listeners.